Alright, so this is the new NZXT Kraken 120 coming in at 120mm and $89. This is the smallest and the most affordable Kraken you can buy right now. So in this video, let's find out if it's any good and how does it fare up against the other 120s and even some of the 240mm coolers in the market. And also, as I like to put it, is it the best stock cooler replacement / upgrade for someone who's looking to get into the world of liquid cooling and ARGB? With that being said, let's get started. So the Kraken 120, as I said, is smallest and the most affordable offering from NZXT, coming in at 120mm, comparing it to the X and Z series coolers from NZXT, which start at 240 and 280mm and go up to 360mm. So this might seem small, but hear me out, the performance this packs for 120mm is really good. So do not underestimate it. This is no slouch. It definitely packs a punch for its size. Performance aside for a while, let's talk about the unboxing experience. And the box of the Kraken 120 is small and compact, and everything you need to set this cooler up is there. So first things first, you get the cooler itself, and you also get one 120mm air P fan. The P stands for pressure. This is again based on NZXT's fluid dynamic bearing technology. So this fan is low noise and again better performance. This will maintain the adequate pressure needed to get the best performance out of this cooler. But you can also use an ARGB fan like I'm doing here. Again, this is also from NZXT. This is their Air F fan, meant for cases. So this is a flow fan. And the Air P fans are more optimized for radiator use. But again, I really wanted to maintain the aesthetic of this build, and in my opinion, the performance and the temperatures aren't really, affected significantly, so you can use this one. Now, getting to the other stuff in the box, you get your Intel and AMD mounting hardware, so the Intel bracket and backplate, as well as the AMD, bracket that will attach to the cooler and sit on top of your CPU, and you get all the thumb screws, the mounting hardware, and you'll also get the necessary cables to use the RGB on this cooler on your motherboard. So you'll get a 5V ARGB connector, the normal one that'll connect to your motherboard, and you can use it and sync it with something like ASUS AuraSync or AZROX Polychrome RGB, MSI's Mystic Light, and also Gigabyte's RGB Fusion. Let's say you want to use the NZXT RGB, you'll need a Smart Devices V2 controller or their new fan and RGB controller, which can be bought separately. And then you'll be able to directly connect it to NZXT RGB and control it in cam. Talk about the lighting again in a later stage of this video. But let's now talk about some of the new features that the Kraken 120 has. And first is going to be the pump. So this is a new and improved pump compared to the Kraken M22, which was the previous 120mm liquid cooler. So this is low noise and better performance. And this is actually true. In my testing, I found better results compared to the Kraken M22. And also the tubing is reinforced. So there's nylon braiding on top of the tubing, and this is now in line with the X and Z series coolers. And also there is the 5V ARGB connection, as I said. So this is now no longer locked to NZXT's RGB ecosystem. You can also use it with other ecosystems which I mentioned in the start of this video. So that's that. So those are some of the new highlight features in the Kraken 120. Now let's talk about the design and build quality of the Kraken 120. Now the design is very similar to the X and Z series coolers from the past and even the Kraken M22, but this is a more modernized version of that design and also a smaller version compared to the X and Z series coolers. So with the Kraken 120, what NZXT has done is really simple. They have 9 LEDs that are lighting up the NZXT logo and the ring around it, and these LEDs are really high quality and they're really bright as well. So the light that it put out is really good, and there's no hotspot, so you can't really tell where the LEDs are and how they're placed. So that's really nice, and the light, as I said, is really bright, and the effects on this cap look really good on top of your CPU block. And there's a bunch of new effects that have been added, especially for the Kraken 120 in CAM software. And you can also try out the effects that you have in your specific ecosystem from your brand. But I personally use NZXT CAM, and here are some of the effects that CAM has.
This is a Chucky Beat production.
Alright, so that's the RGB lighting, and I hope you guys enjoyed, the effects. And you can also customize the light color, the individual LED light color in that ring and the NZXT logo. You can also change the direction, the speed, and just play around with the effect to make it look your own. And I really like how much customization that they've added just for this new cooler. So the RGB LED in my opinion is really nice, and I would give NZXT 10 out of 10 for the RGB implementation. Now let's talk about the performance and acoustics of the Kraken 120. First up, talking about the acoustics, as I said, if you use the Air P fan, you'll get slightly less noise because that's a pressure fan. With the Air F fan, I do get slightly higher noise. But again, the airflow itself on these fans is really good, and the pump noise, even at 4,200 RPM, is not really audible. Once the tempered glass is on, the noise is reduced significantly, and I really like the acoustic performance on the Kraken 120. Even if you're sitting right next to the PC, just like I am, it's barely audible once the tempered glass is on. The fan as well as the pump noise. And there's a bunch of profiles in NZXT Cam. You can also set up your custom fan curve, and at silent it's barely audible. But let's say you are using the PC under load. In performance, yes, you will be able to slightly hear the fan noise, but it's like a slight hum and not really annoying. And even if you're doing audio sensitive work, I think this is really good. And for the people who actually want a noise test or acoustic sound test of the cooler and the fan, here it is. Alright, so now that you've heard the sound of the pump as well as the fan, and you also saw that in the silent profile, my case noise was around 50 dB, and in the performance one, it was around 60 dB. So again, it's not a huge difference in my opinion. And in reality, I don't know how it sounds on the mic, but in reality, it's not really audible or annoying, in terms of the acoustics. And talking about the performance, I tested this cooler in, 3 conditions. One is idle, one is under, medium load, just gaming, playing CSGO and stuff like that. And I also did a Prime 95 stress test for 5 minutes, and here are the results. So in idle, my PC was hovering around 39 to 43 degrees Celsius, and let's say I did put some load onto it, it would go up to 50 and 55 degrees Celsius. And in my Prime 95 stress test, the CPU was hovering around 65 to 69 degrees Celsius, and it never went above that. So even under 100% load, you will be, staying under 70 degrees, and that's a really good temp in my opinion. I'm personally using a Ryzen 5 3600, which is not known for its thermals. It is a CPU that likes to give out those higher temperatures, so that's that. And I'm also using an ASRock B450M Steel Legend motherboard, 16 gigabytes of RAM, the NZXT Kraken 120 cooler, and the Air F fan, the RGB one. So that's my setup. And I'm also housing everything inside the NZXT H510 Elite case, and that's not a case again known for its lowest temperatures. Try this out. If you bought the Kraken 120 and the NZXT H510 Flow case, you'll get at least 5 to 10 degrees less than compared to what I got here. That's just because the Flow case is optimized for airflow and does push in a lot of extra air, and that way you'll be decreasing your temperatures a lot. So in terms of the performance, as I said in the start of the video, this packs a punch. Do not look, just go by its size and be like, all right, this is a 120mm cooler, so I don't have to expect a lot. This is perfect for i3 CPUs, Ryzen 3 CPUs, Ryzen 5s and i5s, and some of the Ryzen 7s and i7s as well. But let's say you're not overclocking, the 120mm should be fine. This does give the 240mm coolers in the market a run for their money. Some of the other coolers from NZXT as well as from some other brands. So even 240mm coolers are going to have similar performance to this, and that's in my personal testing, because I have reviewed the X53 and the X63 and even the Z63 that's in my PC right now, and those had similar temperatures as well with the Ryzen 5 3600. So the Kraken 120 in terms of performance is not really far behind or lagging behind. So the performance is comparable to other 120s, if not better, and also comparable to some of the 240mm liquid coolers in the market. Now I agree with the 240mm radiator and slightly bigger pump or CPU block, you will have more surface area and more cooling. But what I'm trying to say is that the 120mm size is not really limiting this cooler in terms of performance, and it's in line or better than some of the 120mm coolers from some other brands and also some of the 240mm coolers out there. So that's that. So in terms of acoustics and performance, I'll give this cooler a 8.5 out of 10 because it's really good. It's not perfect, but it definitely does a really good job for that $89 price tag. So, that's pretty much it. That's the unboxing, the RGB effects, the performance, and the acoustics of the NZXT Kraken 120. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, then go ahead and smash the like button, and also let me know in the comments down below if you have any questions regarding this product or about this video. Let me know what you felt about the video, and subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell so you don't miss out on future uploads. But with that being said, guys, all the links to buy this cooler will be in the description down below, so you can purchase the Kraken 120 from Amazon India as well as Amazon US, and that'll help the channel out as those are affiliate links. So if you're planning to buy one, you can do so from my links, and I'll also drop a link to NZXT's website where you can learn more about the Kraken 120. I hope this was a one-stop shop for everything you needed to know about the Kraken 120. But with that being said, my name has been Yusuf. You guys have been awesome. Stay awesome, keep smiling, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace out.
This is a